All right, this video is for lesson 5.5 homework. We are solving equations involving exponential functions. So on all of these, we got to be able to write the function first. So that's a big part of today. So number one, at the back. What is the name of a horizontal line approached by the curve as the function approaches positive or negative? What's your favorite word, Rhodey? So this is the horizontal asymptote. All right, what is the name of behavior such that as x approaches infinity, f of x or y approaches a given value? This is asymptotic behavior. If it doesn't appear to be an exponential, but it appears to kind of level out at a certain point, it doesn't necessarily have to have an asymptote to exhibit the behavior of it having an asymptote. All right, so here we go.
What does that word say?
Asymptotic behavior. All right, Stan wants to invest $100 in an account that is projected to grow at a rate of 7.5% every year. After how many years will the balance of the account double? Round your answer to the nearest year. So, growth or decay? Growth. What's my A value? $100. What's my rate? So as a decimal?
0.075.
All right, so B equals 1 minus R. So 1 minus 0.075.
It's growth.
Ah, it's growth. Easy fix. So 1.075. So I've got the function f of x equals 100 times 1.075 to the x. All right. How much is going to be in the account when the balance doubles?
Put in the calculator.
No. Listen to what I'm asking. How much will be in the account? 200 is double. So that's our f of x. That's our answer. Because f of x is the balance in the account. X is years. Now, you cannot... I froze. You can't insolve exponentials. So I worked all of these in a way where what you can do is graph them. So you don't graph the 200, you just do the 100 times 1.075 to the x. And then we're going to pull up the table. And we're looking for where f of x or y is 200. Now, look what it says, though. It says round your answer to the nearest year. Because if you look, none of these are exactly 200. We've got 191 and we've got 206. So look what you can do with your table. Menu, and then 2 for table, and then 5 for settings. I want to change the step. I want to get a little bit more precise. So I'm going to change the step to 0.1. Normally it's set at 1, so it counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's going to go 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. We know our first value was at 9, so I can start the table at 9 so I don't have to scroll all the way through it. All right. So now, 9, when x is 9.1. And now I can kind of find a little bit better. There's one that's pretty darn close to 200, right? So I would round it up. So 9.6 rounds up to 10. That's what the decimal point gives you. It lets you know if you need to round up or if it needs to stay the same. 10 years. All right, 5. A house has, is it 1,300 1,300 termites. The termites double in number every week. After how many weeks will the number of termites be 3,700? Round your answer to the nearest 100. That's 2 numbers after the decimal. So, growth or decay?
Growth.
Growth. What's my A value? 1,300. Okay. If they double, what kind of increase is that? 100%, right? Here's how you tell. If we do 1,300 times 100%, which would be a 1, we get another 1,300. To figure out a percent or a total, you have to add it back. 1,300 plus 1,300 is 2,600. That's double. So your rate is 100% or 1, which means your B value is 1 plus 1. So if something doubles, your B value is 2.
So it's 2x.
So f of x equals A is 1,300 times 2 to the x. All right, where would I plug that 3,700 in for the y? So I'm looking for a y value of 3,700. Stop it. All right. So here we go. So 1,300 times 2 to the x. All right, so I'm going to pull up the table. I'm not going to mess with the table yet because I want to find where I'm looking. So 3,700, man, it's making big jumps. Look at this, 2,600, 5,200.
So
It's in between 1 and 2, so that's where we're going to start, is in between 1 and 2. So I'm going to do menu, 2, 5. I'm going to start the table at 1. That's what number I want to start at, but my step is going to be 0.1. All right, so we're looking for 3,700. And so you can just kind of keep going down. There's 36, there's 39.
36 closer.
So now I'm in between 1.5 and 1.6 because this says your question, hundredth, which means I can go another decimal place. Okay? So I'm going to do menu 2.5. So now I want to start at 1.5. I'm going to change this to 0.01 and start looking for 3,700 again. So I'm somewhere here in between 1.5 and 1.51. You think 1.51?
You can go to 1 more.
We can. Because it says round to the hundredth. So to be able to round, I got to have 3 numbers after the decimal. So menu 2.5, I'm going to start at 1.5. I'm just going to tack a 0 in there. So 3689, 3692, 3694, 37, 3699.96. Would you say that's about as close as we're going to get to 3,700? 1.509. We're going to round to the hundredths, so we look at the thousandths. 1.51. Ew, I got something completely different, but that is right. 1.51. 1.51. I got 1.2 somehow. I don't think I was paying attention. I'm just curious. I want to look before I clear this. Yeah, it's not that. Okay, hang on. Ugh. All right, 1.51. So I'll give you a hint. These two are growth. Top 4 are growth. Bottom 4 are decay. Just so you kind of know. All right, number 7. An adult takes 200 milligrams of a certain medication. Each hour, the amount of medication in the person's bloodstream decreases by about 19%. After how many hours will half of the medication remain in the person's bloodstream? Round your answer to the nearest hundredth of an hour. So always pay attention to where you're rounded. All right, growth or decay? Decay. What's the A value? 200. What's the rate? as a decimal, 0.19. So my B value, 1 minus 0.19. What does that come out to be? 81? 0.81. So f of x equals 200, 0.81.
Oh, I'm stupid.
My algebra kids do that all the time. They just, you get going quick, and that is the rate. And then we want to know after how many hours will half. So if the original amount is 200, what's half? 100. All right. Oh, I really do not feel like getting a migraine right now. Try to goose probably my way out of this one. 0.81 to the x. All right. We're looking for 100. 0 is 200. 1 is 162. 2 is 131. So in between 3 and 4. All right. So I'm going to go menu 2, 5. So we're going to start at 3. And now we want to be 0.1. All right. So again, we're looking for 100. So 3.2 to 3.3. It's going to be somewhere in there. So menu 2, 5. We're going to start at 3.2. And this time at a 0.
To do that, could you like automatically start with
You could. It just, you're going to have to look through a lot more numbers. Going a little jump at a time makes it where you don't have to scroll as much. But yes, you can absolutely. All right, 100 even. So in between 3.28 and 3.29, you think it's going to round up? Menu 2, 5, 3.28. Oh, there it is.
Closest we gonna get.
3.289. But if we round that one, 3.289. It's going to round to 3.29, right? Which I guess that would be the closest. So yeah. 3.29. All right, last one. All right, you buy a new computer for $1,600. The computer decreases in value by 42% annually. After how many years will the computer have a value of $600? What's the A value? 1,600. Okay, what's the rate? 0.42. So what's the B value? 1 minus 0.42. 0.58. So f of x equals 1,600. Oh, yuck. 1,600. Okay, that's going to drive me nuts. F of x equals 1,600 times 0.58 to the x. All right, 1,600, 0.58 to the x. We're looking for 1/10 of a year. So here's what Michaela said. If we know we're looking at a 1/10 of a year, we know we've got to find an answer with 2 numbers after the decimal and then round. So you could pull up your table. It's 600, yeah. The story. And then I can go menu 2, 5, and I can go ahead and set this step at 0.01, 2 numbers after the decimal. And then we're looking for 600. This works. You're going to have to scroll some more. Okay? Because you're not going to really know where to start. But that's okay. I mean, this works too. All right, 600. 600.192, 596. So in between 1.81, 1.8. So I would say this one, the 1.8 is closer, right? Because it's already 600 and this is 596. So that's technically it's 1.80. What does that round to? 1.8. Ooh. I am not doing good in the writing department. I know, it's gross.
Nearest hundredth is the second.
Hundredth is 2 numbers after the decimal. Tenth is 1. I think that's the deepest that I went was hundredth. Okay?